Well, good afternoon, everyone on the East Coast today. Having a little lunchtime with us, we certainly appreciate that. In the Midwest, hey, we're getting ready for lunch. I'm certainly getting hungry myself. Mountain, Arizona, Pacific, good morning. Hey, we still got a few seats left up front. Come on in, gather around, come up close to the front. Let's get started. I'm just kidding. Of course, we're not in an auditorium. That's what's great about webinars. Love doing webinars. And today, we are experimenting with a theater in your mind because on stage today, serverless printing. That's right, serverless printing. No print server, no problem. Hi, my name's Doc Balgi. I am a technical solutions specialist for ACDI, and I have a lot of fun doing these webinars, so I really am glad that you're with us today. It's going to be about 20 minutes, so not too long today. We've got some exciting information, and it's going to be just presentation right at the beginning, and at the end, I'll open it up, and we'll be able to open the chat lines and have you ask questions if you want to. So, again, about 20 minutes or so of some presentation material. Thank you very much for joining me today. All right, let's get into serverless printing. I tell you, we really hit the nerve with everybody when we put this out. Everybody's like, serverless printing, what are you talking about? We got to see what's going on. So let's get going. Print management for networks without print servers. And as we get started with this, of course, we want to take a look at traditional printing. And you know how traditional printing is set up, or just, setting the foundation. And when you have traditional printing and you implement PaperCut, you know that everything just works because that's what PaperCut is designed to do. So in this traditional printing, traditional printing that we're talking about here, most of your customers will have a central print server in their environment. And they receive print jobs from the end user, and it gets delivered to the printer, the multifunctional device. No secret here, this is what we do every day. And this type of configuration has a whole lot of benefits, of course, but there are some challenges when we look at the traditional printing type of method. All right, so when we get started today, I think it's good to do some definitions. What is serverless printing? All right, locally hosted print queue, a direct IP printer, USB printers. Direct printing allows you to, get this, print directly, boy, what a concept, from a desktop to a printer without the need for a print server. And the direct print monitor is the direct printing component that tracks jobs between desktops and an MFD. And guess what? It is included with PaperCut MF, of course. So those are some definitions. Another definition might include a direct printing configuration with your own private cloud implementation of PaperCut. That could eliminate the need for any local infrastructure and could be perceived as no print server. You're hosting it in your own cloud. In a decentralized direct printing configuration, there is no central location to intercept the job, and instead jobs are controlled at the computer level. And all usage is reported to a central application service. I actually changed the slide here. It said server there, but we're talking serverless printing. So we're going to print to a service. Interesting, huh? And if you want to track or control, there has to be some kind of centralized application. PaperCut is service-oriented architecture, so we can run this service on any computer. Is that a server? I'll let you decide. Direct printing allows for the configuration, management, and reporting of print jobs in a way that you have not been able to achieve before. So is it really serverless? We're really talking about a print server. I got to have something in the center, but it doesn't have to be a dedicated print server. PaperCut can run on any operating system, including Windows 10. Yeah, there's caveats. It all depends on your infrastructure, if there is one at all. And keep in mind, we can also run PaperCut on a Mac. We could put it on Linux. Are those servers? Again, I'll leave that for you to decide. But we do need something in the center to monitor if you want to track. That's what we're talking about with direct printing and PaperCut. And you know there's some advantages to doing direct printing. You can still track and report on printing. That keeps configuration, administration, and reporting really simple. You don't really need a print server in every branch. I'm going to show you an example of that in just a bit. It alleviates the need to add a print server or change printer and network configurations. That'll save you time, probably setup costs on install as well. There's no dedicated IT support really needed either. No additional hiring. Don't need another FTE on staff just to support printing. You can minimize hardware in branches or distributed offices. You know, a lot of times when I've set up PaperCut and I'm checking out the office, I might even find a computer off to the side that's not being used. I can use that. You can use an existing workstation. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a clean install. There's some print managements out there that you have to have a brand new server, brand new operating system, never touch, and then I will be able to install the print management software. Well, that's not the case with PaperCut. I can put it on your existing. Now, don't give me a computer that's on its last legs and it's full of viruses and barely working. If it's, you know, a working computer and it's not being used for very long, we could put PaperCut there. Again, is that a server? There's no limitation to the number of direct print monitors that we can have in use as well. And it comes with PaperCut, some other print manufacturers, print management type of software. You have to pay for this component, and it's probably Windows only. Guess what? We're Mac as well. So I can do this on Windows and Mac. The direct print monitor installation process can also be automated. If you are in a large environment and for whatever reason you want direct printing, fantastic. You can do that. We can do this with command line switches. No problem. Now, there are some reasons you might not want to do a direct printing type of environment. If you're doing quotas or charging, you know, many times in education we do that. That's not going to work. Having all jobs sent over the network without a print server could impact speed, increase bandwidth consumption. Not as much a problem today with the networks and the hubs that we have, but, you know, if you're talking about a smaller environment, an SMB, maybe they've got some old switches in there. I've seen the switch, you know, layer one issues. We encounter those every once in a while. You've got a bad switch in there, that can cause a problem. You're sending all these computers with their print jobs individually to it, so that could possibly impact what's going on in the network. Any configuration changes after the initial deployment, you have to make on every computer using direct printing as well, just with the print driver itself. And the direct print monitor can't be installed on something that already has the print provider. You know, your application servers, site servers, your secondary print servers. All of those already have that print provider on there. All right, I promised a little bit of an example here, and this is theater of the mind, right? So let's think about this. Let's envision some conceptualized ideas of where we can do serverless printing or direct printing. How about this? You've got a business that has a lot of branches, banks, real estate companies, that type of thing. So in the main corporate environment, you've got a print server. Computers are attached to that. We're doing printing as we normally do. PaperCut is there. We're monitoring. We're tracking. We're reporting. Now we've got the branch office. The branch office only got a couple people, one multifunctional. Do I now want to set up a print server and get all that going and have another resource and maybe have to have somebody monitor that and everything? No, I can use direct printing with a monitor and incorporate that with PaperCut, and I can report on everything, and it all comes down, you know, it just works just like PaperCut. So you're able to do all of this direct printing, serverless printing, and PaperCut can capture all of this information. Theater of the mind, where else can we put this? Small business, perhaps. You find somebody, you know, half a dozen people. They don't want a print server, or they, you know, it's more convenient for them just to attach directly to the multifunctional. That's no problem. No print server. That's what we keep talking about today. But I do need PaperCut running somewhere as a centralized application, as a service, or, dare I say it, it is a server of some kind. So it really is difficult today, albeit impossible, to do serverless printing, because if you want to track, if you just want to let people print to the printers, you're not worried about tracking, no, you don't need any of this stuff. But if you want to track, monitor, control, report, find out what's going on, then you do need something in the middle that's going to tell you what's happening. All right. I hope you got a notepad, you got a pen, paper ready, because it's time. This is the technical session now, right? So I want to get into all of the details of what we're talking about, the requirements for what we need for direct print. I hope you're ready. A primary application server, either Windows, Mac, or Linux, PaperCut 16.0 or higher administrator access to the application server. It must be pingable. You need a DMG disk if it's a Mac, a host user account on Linux, direct print queue, and a direct print monitor, all in one breath. Those are the requirements. Again, just like anything else, it's not much. I mean, we can put this on really anything. Keep in mind, again, Windows or Mac, we can install this. All right, let's get ready for the installation. Here we go. Before we install, you got to make sure that the minimum requirements are met. You've got the primary application server set up. You know, that takes you all of 10 minutes. You got to make sure 9191's open. Well, it probably already has been since you've installed it. Make sure the PaperCut MF print provider is not installed on the workstations. Well, if you haven't done an application server, site server, or a secondary server, then that print provider won't be there, so you know that. So, you know, there's another minute. And then you've got the PC Direct Print Monitor EXE and the Direct Print Monitor config are in the same folder, and that will give you a successful direct print monitor installation. Why in the same folder? Okay, as you know, you've set up a secondary server. When you get done with a secondary server, a config file pops up, and you have to do something really difficult. You have to type in the IP address of the application server and save that file so it can talk to it. I know, it's really hard. So to make it a little bit easier, as long as that direct print monitor exe and the config file are in the same folder, when you install this, it already knows where the application server is, and it automatically configures it. Isn't that what we like about PaperCut, all the automation? So I'm driving marketing nuts. I'm talking to Sarita and Marty. I'm like, you know, this is the technical presentation. I need detailed installation instructions. You know, come on, give me some screenshots here. And they're like, really? And they did. And I laughed because, yeah, 6 screenshots. Here is your detailed, I hope you're taking notes again, detailed installation instructions. Please pay very close attention here. We have an information screen. You've got an option to change the directory path. If it's SMB, you're probably not going to do that. You've got a progress bar. Okay, watch that for a minute. You've got the EULA. Sure, we read those, don't we? Check, I accept the agreement, and next. And then you have the file window, and when you click finish, the config file does pop up in case you need to change it, but that's what it looks like, just like on your secondary servers. But it's already filled in, so you're done. I know, that was a lot to go through. I apologize. But at least it's lunchtime, not first thing in the morning. Now, you might be thinking, if I have all of these printers then, these direct printers set up in PaperCut, you know the printer list is, so I've got, what, all of these are individual now? I've got to go through these. How am I going to report on a printer that, you know, all these people are attached to if it's direct print? How does all of that happen? Well, it happens with something called linking. And the application server automatically, oh, hey, there's a clue for the question on the right, automatically merges the information from multiple computers into one printer in the printer list, linking. And each linked print queue automatically, again, clue to the answer on the right, uses the printer's configuration, and that means that you don't need to configure each print queue individually. PaperCut MF reports on the summarized data at the printer level rather than for each individual print queue. How cool is that? And this is what it looks like. Oh, screenshot of 17. Anyway, you know that's out now. Hope you have it installed. It's cool. I love 17. Anyway, when you have your printer list, I digress for just a moment. When you have your printer list in front of you, you're going to see the name of the printer. You're going to have a box there, and it might have a number in it. If it's got a number in it, that means those are quantities of however many print queues are attached to that. If it just says 1, well, that's a direct print queue. Nothing else is linked to it. If there's no number next to it, then that's on a print server somewhere. So you can easily see in your printer list what's connected, how many are connected, and what's going on. And again, this all happens automatically. Well, all right, it's computers. Maybe something didn't get linked. Yeah, that could happen. It's possible. So what happens? Again, taking good notes here. I hope you are ready. You have to view the printers list in the printers tab. Okay, there's a click. You have to click on the printer you want to link. Another click. If you're following along at home now, you will not see the Queues tab because you don't have Direct Print Monitor installed. But once you install it and something is talking back to the application server, then a Queues tab will appear. Click that, link another print queue, select it, and click. You're done. And any configuration for that linked print queue is overridden by the printer configuration. How cool is that? Well, when we look at this setup then, what is not available on a direct print queue? Let's just discuss this. It may not be a good scenario for everyone. You know, if you're talking about mobility, you're talking about Google Cloud Print, email to print, you've got web uploads, print archiving. These are not available on a direct print queue. So if these are important, these are the requirements that you've gathered from your customer, then you know that you need to step up and put in a server so that you can offer all of these things to the end user. And once you do that, then you've got PaperCut installed, and you know it just works because it's PaperCut. And that's why you guys love it, that's why I love it, and that's why I'm glad to bring all of this stuff to you today. Serverless printing, no print server, no problem. And that's the end of our presentation today. See, I told you it'd only be about 20 minutes. I thank you very much for your time today on behalf of ACDI. I'm Doc Balgi, and I'll go ahead and open up the chat lines. If you have any questions, please feel free to put it into our chat lines, and be glad to answer those. So I'll be hanging out here for a little bit and answer any questions, and thank you very much for attending today. All right, great question has come in here. How does direct printing different than running a secondary print server installation? Great question. So what we're talking about here is a direct print queue. You're not going to have a secondary print server is not really going to capture your local queues effectively. So secondary print servers are great for, when you have a print server set up and you have multiple queues and you want to bring them all into PaperCut. So this is really when you want to design a system where local queues are there, you've got USB printers and everything attached locally. So that's where it's different, and that's how the setup goes. You have any way to help install the direct printers? So that is a function of course, the local person. We're not rolling out direct printers. We don't have anything along that line. We'll roll out the print monitor. but direct printing to roll out like that, there are some things that are capable of doing that. And we work very well with those products as well. So if you have something that's going to roll out the direct print monitors, then we can then do the tracking and the printing for you as well. So users that have local admin rights can stop the print provider service and prevent being tracked. Yeah, they could prevent being tracked, but they would also prevent printing as well. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there. So I can just utilize any computer with, yeah, well, not a Linux, but a Mac or Windows. Sure, there are components for both. And you know what? It's already shared. Oh, gosh, I just love PaperCut. So all you do is you go into your shares, just like on, what am I trying to do? The client. The client has a pre-shared folder. It's the same thing. The direct print monitor as well has a pre-shared folder. So you're able to attach to it directly, bring that down. It's got the config file right there. Does Find Me Printing work in this environment? Excellent question. Short answer is yes. Long answer is configuration is extremely difficult. Not as fun as I was going through on everything else here. It can be done. It is really a matter of having matching print queues, exact names and everything all throughout the system as you do that. So it can be done. I probably would not advise it, but it can be done. Great questions. Any more today? We'll hang out for a while. Okay, a couple more questions coming in. Where is the direct printing install files located? And any limitation to the reporting capabilities? No real limitation with the reporting capabilities at all. Let's see, I've just shared, you're still seeing my desktop, so let's go into Program Files and PaperCut MF and Providers, Direct Print Monitor, and here you've got Mac and Windows available for you. Mac gives you instructions on how to do the download and install. On Windows, here's the two files that I was talking about. You've got the direct print monitor. Here's the config file, already included. And as you can see in the config file, maybe, is right here my server. Oops, my application server is called Alpine Valley, so it's loaded there. And I didn't do that. That was automatic. That was on the share itself, so it came directly from here. Hope that helps. Hey, so, 17th, those of you still on the call, let's do this too. I'll bring this over. This is all the after-party stuff. Oh, I logged in wrong. Got to go in admin. So I'm running a local instance of PaperCut, and I have in my printers list, just if you want to take a look, you can see I've got this information here. Gosh, oh, that's not as muddy looking to you as it is on my screen. Maybe it is. But here I've got this one here. There's a 5 next to it. So this is showing you what direct print queues look like. Here's what some of the other queues that I have look like. Here's a secondary server, as a matter of fact. So if I open this up, And here's the queues thing that once you install Direct Print Monitor, this will show up. So I've got this, so here are my different printers. You can see that they're listed differently, what computer that they're on. I could unlink if I wanted to, link another if I needed to. This is all part of V17. So here you go, that's how that is. And again, this is how it looks in your printers list. 16.0 and above has direct printing. Yeah, comment 17.0 looks fantastic. Yeah, download it, install it. This is cool. Oh my gosh, I love 17. Hey, guess what? What might be the topic for our next webinar coming up? This was just released, what, a week ago? I wonder what we'll be talking about next month. Hint, hint. Love it. Look at that interface. Good stuff. Everything's on the left now, if you notice, not on the top. Much more modern look. I appreciate all the comments today. It's certainly been a pleasure bringing serverless printing to you today. No problem. No print server, no problem at all. It's PaperCut. I certainly thank you for joining. Just do a last check here if there are any other comments, no other questions. Hope you're having a great lunch today. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you very much, and we'll see you. That's an interesting question, Mike. We'll take that one offline. Has nothing to do with this topic here. We're off topic. So, very cool. Shoot me an email, Mike, and then we'll talk about that. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great day, and again, we'll see you the next time around. We appreciate you joining.